Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. Man, I always wanted to hear your story. You know how you got introduced to boxing. I mean, I see that you have lots of fighters like Edgar Berlanga. We just seen Manuel as well yesterday, and then obviously Najee. I've seen you also work with another fight. Who was it?
I had Erickson Lubin for the
There it
eliminated
is.
IBF.
That one. That's
Uh,
right. I remember interviewing him and him telling me that you were his coach for that fight as
yeah,
well.
right, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what's your background? Talk to me about your boxing background, and
Well,
welcome to the show.
thank you. I appreciate it. I know you had Zab on there. Zab's a good friend of yours.
Yes.
His father is a very good friend of my family. We go way back with his dad. His dad and my dad were like best friends. Um, and we're out of New York, so my family's been in boxing since Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas knows my family. We grew up together. We
So
used
you're
to
from New
fight.
York.
I'm from the Bronx, yeah, I'm from New York. Um, and we grew up in smokers, fighting Teddy Atlas's guys from upstate. They used to come down. We used to fight with no headgears that just match us up. We were the same height, wasn't the same weight, same height, and then we're fighting. Um, fought fought to the age of 14, 15. Um, my brother was one of the top fighters in New York City. Could have went to the Olympics in '88. Um, Teddy Atlas in his documentary talks about, well, it's not so much a documentary, but he always talks about fighters out of New York, and back in the day, he's talking about Mike Tyson and my brother Ray Farragait. My father was a top trainer in New York City, worked with a lot of top fighters. Um, and then I boxed at the age of 14, 15, then turned to basketball, baseball, and then my life took a little turn, and people say it's for the worst, but I would say it's for the best. God is perfect at all times. I went to prison when I was 17, and I came out when I was 34.
Hold on, Mark. I think that your connection. Are you on the Wi-Fi by any chance? Smash the like button as well, ladies and gentlemen. We have here the one and only Marc Farragait. After a big win with Naji Lopez yesterday against Manuel uh, Gallegos on the Pro Box card yesterday. Um, and we're getting his right now. It just happens to be we're going through some technical difficulties, but we'll get this straightened out. Um, we've been we've been moving. We've been trying to get the visual, and now we got the visual. Now we're gonna try to fix the audio. Um, I'm starting to see movement. Can you hear me, Mark? Can you hear me? There's no audio. Did you press the mute button? Is it on mute? What's going on, youngin? Salute to Fernando. Thank you for the 5 piece. Salute to everybody that's tapping in as well. We got 23 people on here. Let's get these likes up. We're getting it going. You know what I could do? I could probably get you out and come back in, Mark. I think that might do it. That might help. Because now that we have connection. Hold on 1 second. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today, man. Hopefully you guys ready for the fights as well, man. You guys ready for that Golden Boy in the Zone card? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Who you got on the main event? Kenneth Sims versus Arnold Barbosa. We're gonna get into the fights. But yesterday's fight was already labeled as fight of the year already. And we're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yep,
All right,
we're good
perfect.
money.
All right, thanks, man. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
So continue.
Yeah, so come from a boxing family, and like I said, my life was one thing and came home, and I always say it's for the best. People say it's for the worst, but if I probably didn't end up doing that, I'd probably be dead. You know, but I just came home and I opened up a gym in New York when I came home. It was on Jerome Avenue, and I just opened it up, and it wasn't for people to come in and pay for memberships. It was more for like shelter for kids. Um, I used to tell them, the only way you come in here is if you train. I mean, if you do your homework, So we had a section for kids to do homework. In my area, not a lot of families had money for after school programs and daycare and stuff like that. So I made it, a safe haven for a lot of these kids to come in and do homework, and then they also get some training. Their parents will pick them up there. And I met Edgar there when he was, I think, 16, 17. And and then I had a couple other fighters. You know, but it was more, I was just providing, you know, paying the rent for some of these kids to just have a place, but I was hardly ever there. To make a long story short, God's plan is perfect. I moved from um, New York and I came over here to open up a facility with Gary Jones. It's called Pro Box TV. So we opened it up 5 years ago. I started it with him, and we a huge built a venue, a gym over here, and started getting fighters, and started work with them. Never ended up with like getting some of these fighters that are elite on the elite level, like go like kids that medal in the Olympics, high amateur fighters. Or I always like to work with young fighters and cultivate them. Been with Najee for 5 years. Been with Edgar since he was 17. Uh, a lot of other fighters, Dominic Valle, 5 years. You get these young kids. Um, so it's all about cultivating. And anybody can coach, man, but to teach is very difficult. There's a lot of peaks and valleys, and every fighter you get, is not going to make it to the top of the mountain. But at least you help them in life. You guide them the right way. You give them some structure, and they become men in life. Taking care of their families, their kids, and being good role models. So boxing is not about just making it to the top. It's not everybody can make it, man. It's that 1%. But it's what we do in these kids' lives. It's not always about money, man. It's about the process and seeing people go through what they go through and achieve great goals. And just like what Najee did last night, it was very personal. And I say personal in a sense because I think teachers only know what they go through with some of these fighters. And I use the word teachers because coaches come in, they give water, they train the kid, and round for round. And but teachers are the ones that
Encouragement,
work. Yeah, man, teachers are like mentors. They work with them outside of the gym.
more like
So with
PT
Najee,
teachers, right?
yeah, there you go, man. So it's uh it's a very humbling sport, but it's satisfying when you see these kids win on different levels. So it's a it's a it's a good story. It was a hard fought fight, a hard fought win yesterday for Naji Lopez, as it was for Dominic Valle as well. But this is a tough sport, man. This is one of the worst sports in boxing in terms of like these kids don't come out and get these NAI deals, and they sign these big contracts at 18 years old. These kids fight since they were 8, and some of these kids never make it, to that 1% at the elite level where they're making at least a million. Never mind, 5, 6, 7 million. So these kids put their life on the line for whatever it is, and so I like to see them win, man. I like to see them win, because a loss in boxing, could eliminate you from even fulfilling your dreams in this sport. So it's a tough sport, man.
Absolutely. Um, that performance yesterday was awesome. These guys were really going at it, both performances. But getting that to that main event, I mean, I like some of the instructions that she was giving in the corner, because I felt like when Najee's instincts is to want to hurt you, and
Right.
he was getting away from the jab, and as soon as you corrected him to get back into that jab, everything opened up for him. As far as take to being able to at least take control and steer the wheel. You know what I mean? And then listening to some of the other things as far as what directions to go to as far as step back to when you throw that right hand. I mean, I feel like that was a performance that he needed you in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. So just listening to you, I totally respect your assessment. You know boxing just by the words you was using. Um, Najee is just, how can I put it? Like Najee's just a guy that he likes to fight and it's hard, right? So let's just let's just think about what I'm gonna say. He's very offensive.
Hmm.
So when you're very offensive, you don't think too much about defense. You just think about shooting those shots, right? I was trying to get him composed and under control to say, listen, you're gonna get those shots off, man, but you gotta let it come. You gotta use that jab, work behind that jab, because this guy's a come forward fighter. This is his fight, man. This guy is meant to get hit in the head. This guy loves that, so he's gonna keep coming. And if you get into his type of fight, it's gonna be a long night. But you're a skilled fighter with power and speed, man. You got to use your jab, keep your range. And I was telling him either we all the way in or we all the way out. We just can't be within that middle range where he's hooking with you. Because anything can happen. And I like to remind him. I said, man, listen, you got to remember that you're a big guy. So you're fighting another big guy, and those shots take tolls, man. One shot could turn the whole fight around. But so you got to use your IQ. And this was, you know what? You're 100% right, because this fight behind the scenes, I was telling Najee, it's a good fight for us. It fits our style, but you got to be disciplined. You got to stick with the game plan.
We need fights like this.
And these are the fights that actually move you to the level. It kind of sends a message to everybody else that's saying, okay, I'm in the mix with you guys. I'm here. I'm paying my dues. I'm working my way up the ladder, and nobody's giving me, you know, cupcakes. But at the same time, oh, this is a sport. It's a science behind it. It's make 'em miss, make 'em pay. And in words is defense and net offense. That's what make them miss, make them pay means. Defense, offense. And your defense doesn't have to be moving so much and running. It could be that lead hand. That lead hand keeps that range, keeps that distance. That's part of your defense, but it creates offense. So
Correct.
yeah, it was very difficult for me, because Najee, the minute he starts exchanging, he wants to exchange. As you can see, he hurt him. He hurt Gallegos, and by hurting Gallegos, I always tell them you got to go with a three-gun salute, right? When they salute, it's boom, boom, boom. You just can't be firing and firing and firing. He's gonna exchange with you, and you're gonna get caught in those exchanges. You got to be able to just fire those three shots, pull back a little bit, go back to that jab, fire another three shots, two shots.
Observe.
Just observe.
Yeah.
You just can't be shooting. You're gonna get caught. He got caught in that flash
Especially
knockout.
with that style of fighting.
Oh man, 100%, man. That's a tough Mexican style. He's a big Mexican. It's actually bigger than Najee. He was 6'3". Najee's 6'1", if that. So it was a good shootout. But if Najee stays with the stick, he's still Najee's a boxer puncher, and that's what and that's how I train him. I train
Good fundamentals, man. Good
yeah,
fundamentals.
and he has good instincts, and for his size, he shoots those shots very quick, and is super effective. Good fundamentals, and that's what I want him to stick with, and Najee's a work in progress. Yesterday was very emotional because I know what I go through with this kid. This kid is his father trained him his whole life. He lost his dad. Comes from a great family, uh, and this kid's moved to my facility, and he hasn't left. He's from Atlanta. He can go home. He lives at my facility. He's been there 4.5 years. He lives on the campus, and he's in my office every day, and he's very humble, but he's a madman in there. So I think we reached a level, and after the fight, we talked, and he has to be more composed, you know, and he understands that. But these are the fights where you learn that. There was a lot of lessons in this fight last night. And my hat goes off to Gallegos. That guy's a warrior. Got a chin as a you know as his kitchen sink, man. So hats off to both of them. But I got to take my hat off to my guy Najee, man. He put on a show and he showed a lot of good things. Other things we could work on, but he showed a lot of good things to say that he's in the mix with these guys up there.
And to go back into the jab, right? You know, if he comes in when he gets knocked down twice, right? If he's coming in with the jab, you might be seeing that shot coming.
100,000%, because it gives you range, and not only that, it gives you a sense of security too. And the jab's the most important punch in boxing.
Hmm.
It's the most important punch. The jab. I remember Juan Manuel Marquez used to tell Najee and the other young fighters. He used to be like, Najee, you win fights with your left hand and you collect the money with your right. Your lead hand is everything. So
I like that,
like I
son.
said, there's still room for growth. He understands that, and I think once he masters that, I think everything else will fall into place. Right, range, distance, IQ. We know he has the heart of a champion. He has the balls to put on the line.
Hmm.
And just as much as he can make a mistake, by swinging for the fences, I think anyone he fights is going to be very, very, very skeptical about exchanging with him. Um, he doesn't have like he has one punch power, but he can hit you with a flurry of shots. Have the same pressure, but it's we train a lot, so the lead hand creates everything else for him. So let's hope lesson learned, and we get back to the drawing board, and this kid can dominate as he's been doing so far. You look at his resume, you look at his box rec. There's no cupcakes on that box rec for a young kid coming up. Pro box always matches these guys tough, um, and it shows them that I got to say this because we have all these fighters that come from other countries, Kazakhstan, and this and that. These guys fight for a world title. Lomachenko, boom, 2 fights. Look at all these guys. They come from over there, fight for world championships, 7 fights, 8 fights.
From the Ukraine. Yep.
We're the only ones that United States baby their fighters, baby them. We baby
Mhm.
them sometimes. We got to protect them, but these guys are coming over here and they just bringing they just bringing the lumber, man. They bringing it. So to see Najee, work his resume like that and come up and fight tough guys, um, he can't fight nobody. He got to fight the guys in the top 10 now because I don't think anybody below that is gonna fight him. So you know, um, long night, good night, but a lot of lessons to to be to be reminded of and get back to the drawing board in the gym.
Yeah, 100%. Now that was for the WBO Latino title.
Uh I'm not sure. I know it was a WBO something. I don't even know what it was, but I know it was a WBO something. I'd be lying if I tell you I definitely knew, but no, I know it was WBO something. I don't know, it was Latino. Yeah, it could be Latino. You might be right.
Okay. Okay.
So
Um, now I think for the weight class, light heavyweight, I think he has like he's probably one of the more dynamic, guys in that division. I feel like, he runs his hands probably faster than anybody in that division as well. So it was nice to see you guys get the win. I agree. I think you guys could have get the win
a lot easier.
a lot easier, but in the same time, do you get the same result? Do you get the knockout? You know what I'm saying? Like, or do you feel like now we could finesse it a lot
I
way
think I
different?
get it.
Because I
I
like the
think I get it.
framework too. The framework of pushing the kid
Yeah.
back, like you said, he throws wide hooks. You don't want to be at the end of that shot.
Nah, you don't. You don't.
You
So
know.
I think we get similar results. I think a stoppage would have happened
Hmm.
because Najee hit him with cleaner shots. Najee wouldn't take as much. Najee will have more to give, right? Look at the headbutt. The headbutt.
Headbutts. That's the most important part. You're
And
right.
you got to remember this, right? That headbutt took place in the second round.
Second round, man.
So, so let's make a comparison, and that's we can only make comparisons with what we seen last night.
Hmm.
So he gets a headbutt in the second round, and it cut him in 3 different places. So now we can't stop that bleeding, right? Because now it's all over. And
Hmm.
he's fighting from the second round on with a guy that's just coming forward and the guy. And whenever the opposite fighter sees a headbutt, dude, it charges him up 10, 20% more. Like I could start tapping this guy. So Najee went through all that from the second round. The minute this guy gets cut, I believe it was in the seventh or even that round, fight's over. So that says a lot about Najee Lopez. He had a worse cut. This guy had a little drip there. It was bothering him. Fight's done. You can't see, you can't do nothing. So Najee had some type of composure, but I think it eliminates all that if he uses his range, his distance. I think he tattoos this guy even worse because he's able to shoot even sharper shots. He's able to see the defense. So I think we get similar results, but I think better. But I'm not here to complain. I got to take my hat off to these kids. And it's not just Najee, all these guys that go in there, man, and they risk their lives, man. And they try their best. Not everybody could be the best, but they try their best. But yeah, I think it would have been definitely different results if he sticks to the game plan and stays disciplined. But hats off to him, man.
There was rumors of what was it that Betterbiev was ducking him.
Yeah, I don't think that was listen, I'm a realist, man. I'm not going to sit here, and take out pom poms for Najee. Najee won't even allow that. I don't allow that. You're talking about one of the greats of all boxing. That guy ain't ducking nobody, man. That guy ain't ducking nobody. Um, we had a deal in place, um, and then it just fell apart. The deal was in place. We went through all the procedures, and it was a done deal. And then when I say a done deal, it was like we accepted it the minute they called, and then the money was okay, you know, um, and we asked for a little bit more. We said yes, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then next thing you know, they went and picked somebody else. So like the
Mm.
following 2 3 days, they picked somebody else.
So it was
Um,
the opposite. It was more like you guys refused the fight
no, no, we didn't refuse it. We took
due
the
to
fight.
the finances.
Yeah, yeah, but we had took it. We said yes, and they were like, "So what do you think?" They were like, "We're gonna try to get a little bit more." So we said yes, and
Then the guy that took a little bit less got the
oh,
fight.
he probably took a lot less.
Yeah, that's what we went through with Eddie
We were
Hearn
in the
and Rashidi Ellis and Boots.
got you.
It went through
So
the same thing.
we were in the 750 range, you know.
Yeah,
So for a kid like Najee, right? I want to make sure that he gets a little bit more. Like
got it.
he's going from 13, 14 fights to fighting one of the greats,
Hmm.
and it wasn't that much more. We were asking for 250 more, right? So we know how boxing is. They probably did offer us $1 million for that fight, and someone else just took the 250 and offered us 750.
I mean, you're not throwing those numbers out not because you don't know what's the
Nah,
market out there. You know what the market is.
I know what the market is. I
Yeah,
got Edgar Berlanga, so that market's crazy. So
yeah, yeah,
I definitely
yeah.
know what the market is. I'm not.
But that's the 68 market. That's the 68 market.
Yeah, but when
Light
you're fighting
heavyweight
up,
market. I mean, what? I
dude,
don't know. Since Turkey came in, it's been a little
dude,
bit different.
you gotta understand, right? That this is a turkey fight. This is a ring fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna. I'm gonna give
Say
you.
less.
Come on. So
Say
I
less.
definitely I could talk about things that's in a room, right? But I'm not gonna put it out there. So
Yeah.
the money's there, and all the fighters would tell you, listen, man, like they can say they're offering you 500,000, but behind closed doors it was 1 million. Everybody else in that room is chopping up the other 500, and they're hitting the fighter with just 500. Or they'll go find another fighter
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey man, we can get this guy for 250.
Mm-hmm.
But the $1 million on the table. So the next guy probably got 250 and everybody else chopped up the rest. So I know what the market is for that type of fight. We said yes. We didn't say no. And they were like, all right. I said, yeah, we'll definitely take it. Just see, we got just a tiny bit more, but we'll definitely take it. If not, get back to us. Never got back. Right. 3 days later, they announced somebody else. So I know what it is. It was simple, right? That somebody's hands didn't get greased,
Yep.
and it just stopped, and they moved on to somebody else. But that's boxing. That happens all the time. People don't talk about it because they're not in the room. But there's always assumptions and rumors. But there was never no doubt that Betterbiev turned it down. Not at all. Betterbiev is that guy, Biff,
Yeah.
all those guys. But we didn't turn it down either.
Tell me now, how do you feel like that fight plays out when that time comes? I mean, do you feel like it's still gonna happen? I know that there's years that they're counting down that Better Beef is probably gonna leave the sport, but do you feel like the fight happens
We don't ever
and
want to underestimate a guy like that, man. No matter how old he is, right? Like
yeah,
that guy brings a ton of experience, man. And you're talking about the highest of fights, man. That guy could be 40, but the guy's in better condition than a 20-year-old. Takes care of his body, doesn't hang out, eats right, recovers. He's, he is the epitome of being disciplined. So how will that fight turn out? I have no idea, man. I know Najee will prepare himself extremely well. Um, I'll be an idiot to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, Najee's going to take it to him." And nah, listen, it'll be a phenomenal fight. It'll be a great fight. Um, Better Beef comes forward just like Gallegos, but on another level, man. Like you can you can times that by 50 who Gallegos is. That's how Better Beef is going to come. So
yeah.
Najee will have to be better, and he will. And he's a kid. He's a kid, and he's learning on the job, and he's learning with tough opponents. And so far, he's been passing, and that's because of Najee's a workhorse. Najee's disciplined. Najee's always in the gym. He lives in the gym. Najee is not this flamboyant kid out there. Very humble, very quiet, um, and brings an energy, man. He brings a tremendous energy, man, to that arena. Like something's gonna happen, and that's why I agree with you. That's why I tell you it would have been similar results. Najee will knock you out in the 10th, 12th, whatever round. But I want him to use that jab. I want him to work behind that jab. His jab is like a right hand. His jab will set everything up, man. He's technically sound, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see brawls. Okay, we did it yesterday. He dropped his nuts on the ring, and he ended up pushing Gallegos back and stopping him. Okay, that's done. But that's not the fight I want for this kid. That's not the style I want for him. Can he do it? Yeah. You put him in a corner. Yeah, he's definitely gonna fire with you. But the type of Najee I want is a guy that can be a boxer puncher. Good jab, good feints, good movement, in and out, good angles.
So
And
you
then
didn't learn anything new about your fighter that you already did.
nah, nah. Right? Because you don't get to see what's in the gym. I get to see what's in the gym. Right? And a lot of things happen in the gym that people don't talk about, but you build the fighter there. And the way I do it, right? And Edgar tell you this, and all my young fighters, it's my job to find someone to kick your ass. It's your job to make sure it doesn't happen.
Hmm.
If I bring cupcakes in the gym, then you're gonna expect that under the lights. And that's not how it works. My job is to challenge you every day in the gym and not make it easy for you because the night of the fight and where you want to be, it's not going to be easy. Like I told Najee before that fight, I said it's going to be a great fight, Najee. But if you want to be world champion, you got to get past guys like this. If we can't get past guys like this, you can forget about being in that 1% in your division. So he got past it. And we only as good as our last fight. Let's see what happens next fight, right? So that means we get back to the gym, we work hard and stay humble, and we grind, and as long as he keeps the Lord center, and I say the Lord, man, people use that word loosely, but without him, man, like there's no health, there's nothing, man. So we don't get up on our own. We get up because of him. So Najee has that, he has that foundation. And I'm proud of the kid, man. Kid did well yesterday.
You could tell, man, because when you had all that blood on your face,
Dude, it was dude, and I didn't even know that, right? I gave him a hug, and I didn't even know that, and I was like, man, it looked like I was in a fight, man,
right, right.
and it was a nice moment, man. It was a great moment. It was something we're gonna remember, but we don't want to be in those type of fights. If we have to, we know we can do it, but we don't want to be in those type of fights. These kids got to have a life after boxing. I want them to be able to talk. I want them to be able to have kids. I want them to do all
Yeah.
this other stuff, man. People
Yeah,
think about the right now, right? But the right now is not, they don't think about these kids afterwards. And I got a lot of friends in the business, man. Like I got a lot of guys that are world champions that, dude, like I got to put my ear towards them to hear what they're saying,
yeah,
you know? So we want these kids to come out with good health, and all that starts with good defense. You
yeah.
work off your defense, man, and that lead hand.
I felt that, coach, what you just said, because that's exactly what I was thinking when he dropped to his knees. These fighters, they lose a little life every time they go into the ring.
100% right.
So I felt that from Najee. I was like, damn. Only if these fans knew
That's right.
what just happened right now.
That's right, man. And when he dropped, I never got in the ring and did that with a fighter, but I know what this kid's been through. He lost his dad. This kid, this kid's been through a lot, man. And not to say that no other fighter has, but that was a moment that he let everybody into his life, because he's never done that in a fight. He dropped to his knees and raised his hands like he didn't like he was saying, I couldn't go no more. This is all I had. Like I've reached this and this is it.
Hmm.
It was for me, it was a monumental moment in his career, right? No matter what this kid turns out to be, man, to me, he is a success. Um, he's 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 done his father proud. He's done himself proud. He's done his family's name proud. He's done his friends. It was, to me, is like I said, man, I want these kids to make money. At the end of the day, they're prize fighters, and these kids risk their lives, man. And I like to see them, continue to do well, but but it's defense, right? Everything is defense, and let's hope that all these kids out there understand that, and they'll make for better fights, and they'll have a better afterlife, after boxing. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. For sure. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Double tap the screen if you're on mobile devices. Fernando, thank you for the 5 piece. Mark, you used to train me and Elvis at Worldwide Boxing Gym when we were kids back in 2013 and 14. Good to see you. God bless.
Bronx Chester. I think those kids are from Bronx Chester. They're two brothers, the Dominican brothers. Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. God bless you guys, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How many fighters you have on your stable that you
Uh,
train personally?
I got seven.
7.
That's seven. I got Naji Lopez, Edgar Berlanga. I got a David King Garcia, a young 16-year-old
Oh yeah,
kid.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember he left Mickey. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And let's make this, just because these fighters leave a trainer has nothing to do with the trainer, man. It's just a fighter. All these guys are great trainers and teachers, man. So I don't want people to think that he left Mickey to come to me. No, it was just, fighters have their own way of doing things and seeing things, man. But we should never look down when a fighter leaves a trainer to go with somebody else, think that trainer did anything wrong. Mickey Bay's a great, great trainer, man. And he's good for the sport.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So I got him. I got Dominic Valle. I got little Kenyon Valle. Um, I just had in camp Amir Anderson, a
Amir
young kid.
Anderson.
Yeah, just had him. He just went home yesterday. He finished his camp. Um, and who else? A ton. I got a bunch of other kids there. Just off the top, I can't even tell you. So it's more than seven. But I live in the gym, man. I get there at 6 in the morning and I leave at 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I give everybody equal opportunity, equal attention. What I give Edgar, I give to the kid that just walked in the gym. So there's no there's no favoritism.
Hmm.
So let's see what happens, man. Look, man, like all we could wish for is that these kids turn out to be something in life, man. Not everybody could put a strap around their waist, man. You know,
Right.
so that's my goal, is to make sure that I have an impact in their life in terms of how they turn out when they're adults and when they have their families and stuff like that. And that's how I lead my life, man. So I made a mistake when I was 17 years old. and I'm 53 now. So I thank the Lord I'm able to help these kids and give back. So
Good
hopefully they
for
learn
you.
from my experiences.
Good for you, man. Um, you mentioned well, Edgar mentioned that you worked with him when he was an amateur.
I got him just as he finished amateurs,
Okay.
his
Okay.
last fight in the Olympic trials.
So
It was
you went straight into did you do any amateur coaching?
nah, I didn't really. I could have, I had a lot of, but yeah, I think yeah, I did it with a kid named Steven Galliano.
Steven
Um,
Galliano, I know from New York. Yeah, I know who he
yeah,
is.
I had Steven as an amateur, and
Okay.
and 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 that was it. I coached. I was mostly coaching the pros. I coached Hennis Mendez, the IBF World Champion, for 7 years. It was a 130 Dominican out of DR, Olympian, and became world champion IBF. And I coached another Dominican. We fought for the title 3 or 4 times. Giovanni Lorenzo, 160 middleweight.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I didn't coach many amateurs. Um, didn't I, be honest, I didn't have time. I was busy working. So I had a gym where they were all at. Josue Vargas was in that gym. B Hop used to come to the gym. Africa used to come to the gym. So all those guys were amateurs, but I had no coaching to do. I had nothing to do with those guys. Even Egg used to come to my gym when he was younger. So, they used to just come around and get sparring at the gym, get some work. But no, I never did anything as an amateur or any amateur fighters. Just Steven.
So tell me, how many fights away do you feel like Najee is to get that? Guys like the Better Beef, the Bevo,
I
and even
guess
possibly, yeah, those guys.
I, I guess the way the sanctioning bodies work nowadays, who knows, right? Like there's guys that are ranked 16th that get title shots, 15th.
True.
Najee right now was 6 before last night in the WBA. I assume that put him in the top 5. Um, WBO, I think he was like 11th. So I guess that moved him up. WBC. So Najee's in the top 10. I would say top 5 WBA. So it could be any time right now. The I'm gonna be I'm gonna say this. I think anyone in those top, even the champions, I think that Najee threw his name in the hat where they're gonna really think about it, right? They're gonna say, "Do I really want to take a chance with this kid right now?" And if we're talking about the top guys, we're talking about the world champions. Uh, the money
You
got to
don't think
make
they see a
sense.
weakness in
The-
yesterday's performance?
I don't think, of course, those guys are elite, right? Those guys are world champions. Even if they weren't world champions, even if it's the guys that are that are right there with Najee, right? Like everybody sees weaknesses in everybody. So the champions say, "Yeah, I see that," but they won't take the fight like that. The money has to be right for the champions
Mm,
because he's a threat. That's I'm not here being biased. Naji Lopez is a threat. So those type of fights make him better. And champions are going to see that because they're going to say, hey, man, I'm going to take this guy deep and drown him in deep waters. Nah, they're going to say, nah, this guy's a dog. This guy's going to be there. And Gallegos can punch. Najee got a chin. Gallegos put, you know, Najee put Gallegos out. Could have put, I don't know how Gallegos was taking those shots. Najee too. So world champions will take the fight, but the money's got to be right for them.
yeah.
Guaranteed. Like this, believe me, like they're not going to be like I'm fighting Naji Lopez for how much? Nah, we're not doing that. You got to give me more than that. So it's not the question where he's at. It's the question whether who would take that fight. But he's in line right now for interim belt. You know, so he's in line for a lot of good things. But the most important thing right now for me, and I think every trainer out there, coach or teacher, the most important is to make sure these guys get great recovery.
Yeah.
After a fight like that, man, their health is important. So right now, we're making sure he's recovering good. Um, doesn't have to go back to the gym right now. It's more about rest and relaxation and take care of that head. body, soul, get back, and then they'll be ready. So I would look for him like maybe in August, September. You know,
Okay.
because there's no sense in jumping in right away, and I
Hmm.
don't think there's gonna be anything out there right away. You know, so they're gonna be talking about it right away, but the offers are gonna come later on because they're gonna have to weed through all the BS that boxing has. But I don't think any of those world champions would jump at it. If the money's right, yes. For these guys are not going to take that risk. If that was the case, right? Better Beef would have took it and said, yeah. I mean, Ring would have said, hey, man, yeah, we'll just put another 250 on that. Let's get that fight,
Yeah.
right? So, what's another 250 to give me 750 for a young stud? So
Hmm.
that's Better Beef, right? And what do you think the other guys are saying to Najee? Like, that's Better Beef. If they didn't give Najee that for Better Beef, some of these guys would be like, nah, I want more to fight Najee Lopez. So I know Najee, I know my guys are threat in the division, as those other guys are threats in the division. So we just, his hat's in the game. It's in the game now, at that elite level. So
We need that. We need that Najee Khalil Cole. I think that would
that's a
be.
good one. Khalil Cole's a phenomenal fighter, man. Khalil Cole can punch. Khalil Cole's a great fighter. He has great amateur pedigree, but he also has pro, and he's a dog too, man. Khalil Cole's a dog, man. Um, you know, um, much respect to him and his team. Um, whatever the fans want, these guys are always ready to give it.
Hmm.
It's always everybody else that's in the politics, that always make things, difficult. But Khalil Cole's a great name, but listen, they're all great names. We could throw a bunch of names out there. Like they could be talking to Khalil Cole and say, "Hey, how about Naji Lopez?" But you can throw any names out there, right? These guys are all young, good, great young fighters, man. That are trying to make that step to the next level. So it's a lot of good fights out there. Yeah, that's a great fight. That's another bomb burner. Those guys are big punches and speed and Khalil Cole's a dog. He comes back. Khalil Cole has a lot of dog in him.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fights on in light heavyweight. They have David Morrell versus Callum
That's another.
Smith.
Yes. So there's a bunch of 75s, man. A bunch. And if things go well for us in 75, and we're able to um God willing, we get a strap there, then we like to go to cruiserweight. Nazi used to fight at heavyweight in amateurs. I was the one that brung him down. Um, and so let's see. There's other divisions, that we can go up to, but we like to conquer here. It'll be a
Is it
good.
a hard weight cut to
Nah,
get to
nah,
75?
it's good. You know why it was so easy for him? No, it's crazy because Najee was just he was making heavyweight by this, he was just eating. So Najee was like 205, 206. So he just didn't, Najee just liked to
Enjoying
fight.
life.
He just liked to fight.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I seen all the fat and was like, Najee, man, start eating right, this and that. It was a few years ago. It was over. He just got disciplined and he makes it. Najee's used like for this fight, Najee was like, it was 74. Najee was 79, like 3 days before the fight. And he was still
Mm.
eating and drinking. So Najee usually eats and drinks. When I say eats, he'll have egg whites and spinach like the day before the weigh-in. He's still drinking, you know, some water, watermelon. So he makes it pretty easy, man. And he makes it easy during camp too, right? Because you stay disciplined, what you eat. So he's pretty much on top of, his nutrition, and he has a good team around him. His brother Juice does all his weight cuts. Does it? He's the one that did Berlanga's weight cut for the Shiraz. So he has a good team, man. He has a very good team.
Yeah. Um, let's getting into that, Berlanga fights Canelo. All right. Obviously, you know, people looked at the fight like, wow, what this guy has so much experience. Can he handle him? He goes the distance with Canelo. I mean, he gets dropped, gets backs up, and boxes, right? Then what he fights a undefeated fighter in Florida right after.
Oh, he fought yeah, the kid yeah. What's his name? They call him Mantequilla.
Mantequilla, there it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
And then obviously the Shiraz fight.
The rock fight.
You know, what's your reaction to the fight now that you got to replay it, and watch it?
Which one? With the Shiraz?
The Shiraz fight, yeah.
Uh I think it was it's a lot of things that go into it. Um but let's just keep it with the fight itself. There were other stuff that went into it, but the fight is that Edgar was doing well with the jab, was doing super well with the jab. Um, we wanted to stay disciplined for that fight. Um, and that fight was
Lost connection. Lost connection. You know what we say, us Boricuas, puñeta. Right about now, right? Shout out to my people on the live. Hopefully his phone didn't die. And I bet his phone probably died right when we was about to chef up and cook. You already know we was just heating up. We was just heating up for 45 minutes. We was about to get into I feel Mark's energy. I feel like he was coming in with some heat right now with Edgar. Smash the like button, double tap the screen. Salute to everybody on the live once again. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Can't wait for tonight's fights, man. Kenneth Sims, Arnold Barbosa, but shout out to my Boricua, Oscar Collazo. I know, right? Right? I'm feeling the same way. I'm feeling tight. I'm feeling tight. I feel like Mark was about to come in, throw the adobo on the whole shit. The whole sazon packets are out, ladies and gentlemen. The sofrito is in the house. Abuelita made it yesterday, and I left it outside. I took it out of the freezer today, and he was about to make un ensopao. Wow, it was gonna get crazy in here. We had all the questions on lined up in the head. We were like, "What you think about the new song, Baby Mama?" Bendito, I want you got it. You have to, cause you know someone's gonna clip it. Someone gonna clip it. Funny, but nah, it's you know what I'm saying. We moving and grooving. Shout out to everybody on the live. Damn, Devin Haney and the Schofields. Ooh, that shit was crazy. Collazo, yeah, Collazo. Um, I can't wait for him to defend his titles. A lot of titles on the line tonight, huh? Besides the main event. Gabriela Fundora also with her titles. Um, Mark's probably gonna text me saying, "Yo, my phone died." How much you want to make a bet? How much y'all want to make a bet? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, y'all. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. What the helly? Hold on. Smash the like button once again, guys. Hold on one second. I'm gonna also get the call-ins ready to go. Y'all probably have Mark tap in on the Instagram if his phone did die and he can't come on. But yeah, nah, absolutely, because we need a. You know, we was about a chef. We just finished with Najee, 45 minutes with Najee. I was trying to get, at least another like 30, 30 minutes about Edgar Berlanga, you know what I mean? And right away from the beginning, boom, puñeta, that's what we say. Nasty work. But we was vibing. Salute to everybody on the live, man. Who y'all got? Matter of fact, let me start putting them polls up. Let me put them polls up. We already know that. I mean, shout out to everybody that's going for their fighters. But I think, to be real, oh, Mark is back. I bet you it was his phone. Manuel. Phone died?
dude. Phone died, man.
I knew it. I
Phone
knew it.
died, man.
I was like,
Phone
damn, he's
died.
about to cook right now.
Nah, nah. And I wanted to return the call, man. I didn't want you to think I just bailed out on that. Nah, it was a tough night. I think it's a learning experience for E. Um, Very awkward. Shiraz 6'5", um, different height, different length, different look. Um, I think that I think that fight's gonna happen again. I think it's gonna happen again. I want it to happen again. Edgar wants it to happen again. And like I said, at that level, man, anything can happen. All it takes is one mistake, and it's over. Um, so in that fight, I wanted to stay with the jab and the feints. For me, all my fighters, the lead hand is super important for me. The lead hand controls distance, just controls the fight. Just you can see things better. So Edgar did that the first 3 rounds, um, and Shiraz was swinging from the fences from the very beginning, which is obvious, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes into conferences, interviews, and a lot of built up anger back and forth. So a lot of that stuff, I wanted that stuff to really die out in terms of like I wanted Edgar to weather that storm in the first half, and then everything comes down, and then fighters become who they become, in that second half. Now they know it's not about what this guy said to me, and I hate this guy. Now it's just pure boxing. So I figured the second half we can step it up. Second half is what I was looking for, but I wanted to win the first half in terms of let Shiraz's aggression work against him. For the first 3 rounds, it did. We were touching him pretty good with the jab, up and down, feints, closing in. And then the fourth round, everything just fell apart in that 40 seconds left in the fourth round. And in the fifth round, um, he wanted to go out. He wanted to go out. I was going to stop the fight, but Edgar didn't want that. Edgar wanted to go out. He wanted to go out, and he's a warrior. So all these guys are warriors. These guys don't want to end no fight on the chair, and they don't want no one stopping for them. But at the same time, man, we're there to protect these guys. You know, and so Edgar Edgar went back to the drawing board. Um, I think there's so many lessons to learn on all levels, including that level. That's a high level. So Edgar's totally been in the gym. People see him. He looks like he's in shape already.
He does. Yeah,
He
it
looks
looks
like he's
like
in
he's
shape.
ready to go.
He's actually in for the first time in a long time. He's actually entering camp at 185. Usually, he's bigger than that. So way bigger than that. So this is the first time that he's back in camp, and he's been in camp for a while. And when I say camp, right, we really don't have a fight set up. Something's going to be announced pretty soon. But he's been in the gym for the last 2 months. So we're training. He's running. He's eating well. You seen him there last night at the fight. He's got his song coming out too. So I guess he wants to do a lot of different things.
Yeah,
But
yeah, his song, Baby Mama.
yeah, baby mama.
You
Yeah.
heard it?
This guy comes here and he sings it in my house and he sleeps there. He wakes up with that, man. I gotta turn it off, man.
For real?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
on it?
yeah.
He's
So
okay,
he,
he's
he
ready
only
for the
lives.
performances.
Yeah, he lives 5 minutes from me. So he built his house next to my house. So but God bless him, man. These kids, like I told him, I said, Edgar, you can have all the haters, man. That means you're doing something. I said, even if you do everything right, you're still gonna have haters. I said, but just live your life, do what you can. Try to be the best at it. Try to make the best decisions you can. Not every time we make bad decisions. I mean, every time we make good decisions. So, and he's not 17 no more. So I don't have that. I can only advise him, right? Like our
Hmm.
kids grow up and we can't do much. We can only just tell them what we think, and if they ask. But I think people are going to be very impressed with what they see, when he comes out. I know everybody hears that, like that's the old adage, oh, wait until next time. But I think this kid has turned the table. I think we're going to have some exciting fights with this kid. There's going to be some good matchups coming up with him. And listen, man, say what you want, man. He's a ticket seller. Like there's world champions that don't make the money he makes. And it's not because he's running in there with a gun and sticking everybody up. They just giving it to him. So he's doing something right in that turn, But we're still searching for that title, man, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get it. and there's some good fights out there. And but the fight I really want is Shiraz. Anyone that has a competitive spirit would say they want that fight. So I have a competitive spirit. I want that fight. Edgar's going to want that fight. He already wants it, but they're not going to give it to us right now. I think after a couple of fights, I think we'll definitely get that. Line up a couple of wins, and I think that'll happen. It'll be a big fight. Um, there'll be a lot of hype with it. Everything that's going around now after the fight, still now. So it'll be a lot of tension. And I think the tension will be more in Shiraz as it was for Edgar. It was in New York. There was a lot of, it made it look like, that it was easier for Edgar, but fighting in New York and having that type of pressure on you, and this guy's coming over here and not having that pressure, So I think the next one will be a little bit different. I think the heat will be on Shiraz, and I think he'll show up even better for that fight if that fight happens, and we'll show up even better for that fight, and we'll roll the dice. But that's a fight that I really, really want.
How is, his, a lot of fans were looking at it like, how's his mental coming off of a loss like that? Obviously, um, even me before, talking about the fight, I said to people, I said that you're fighting Canelo Alvarez. Leading up to the fight, I said if he can go the distance in this fight, it's a win. Period. That's what I was saying leading up to the fight, right? And he ends up going the distance, right? And people were, had a lot of things to say. They were saying, oh, they threw a
Right.
parade for him in New
Yeah.
York, que si que. Pero in the same time, it's still like you still fought Canelo, right? A legend in the sport. You
Right.
could say that you could draw that page, go back to that page plenty of times, and you know what it is. But with this one per se, Shiraz only had like what, like 22, 23 fights leading up to this fight. Not a lot of people knew who he was, but then you know the outcome of how it was. Like we didn't really didn't see Shiraz kind of fight like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see that, Edgar has, claims of, thinking that there was some cheating going on with the gloves and what's your thoughts on that as well?
Well, we're not going to get into that, right? Because that's just we'll save that for when the fight happens, right? But we got to look at the results, right? Like, there's no reason to get into all that stuff, right? Um, but you got to say, the guy won. He won. You know, that's what it says in BoxRec. But I'm pretty sure the next fight's going to have a different outcome. And then we'll. I don't think we'll talk about all that on the next fight. After the next fight, I think a lot of things will be settled. A lot of things will come out when that fight happens. I have a good feeling that fight will happen. We just got to do our part. He got to continue to do his part, meaning Shiraz, and that fight will happen. And I think it'll be good for the fans. I think people will pay for it to see that. Um, but I think everything ends and starts in the ring, man. So let's see what happens when it does happen. Um, I don't want to get into all that because that's just then everybody has an opinion about it, and that so I just remove myself, right? And in terms of, I'll just get him ready for the next fight, and we'll get that fight done. We get another fight, and then we'll see if we get Shiraz. He definitely wants Shiraz, and we've talked about it in private, but we got to put some wins on the board, um, and then we'll definitely get that, and I know we'll get it the minute that he puts some wins on the board. We'll definitely attack that. That'll be a fight everybody see. I guarantee if I'm at home, I wasn't coaching them, I'll pay for that fight because there's going to be a lot of hype behind it. It's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories. It's going to be a lot of things. I guarantee you there'll be a bunch of people in Shiraz's locker room watching Rapper's hands as well. It's going to be a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? And so that'll be an interesting fight, but we got to get past our next one, and then we'll worry about the next one. And but I'm sure that Shiraz fight is going to happen.
I mean, did you guys have coaches watching them get
Yeah,
their hands
yeah,
wrapped
yeah,
as well?
yeah. So if you had a coach over there, you know what I mean, that there's so many other things that can take place, even if you have a coach there. But it's just how it is. I don't like I said, uh, I know you're doing your job right now. You're trying to figure out a way, like how can I get the coach to chime in? But to me, it's all about in the ring. So for me, like it's over with. It's done with. Um, Edgar needs to get some wins on the board, which he will. And I keep saying like that. But that fight, I promise you, will happen. Shiraz keeps winning. We win. That fight's gonna happen. And then all the questions, all the answers, is going to come out. All the questions going to happen before the fight. All the answers will be answered after the fight. So everything will be said and done there. But that'll be a great fight, and I think people will pay for that. It's going to be one of the biggest fights to watch. Considering Shiraz stays healthy and wins, and Edgar stays healthy and wins, it's going to be a hell of a fight. But right now we're just looking at this next fight we got coming up this year. Hopefully we get two fights in this year, and then we'll start talking about other things. Hopefully then one more, and then we'll go after Shiraz. By that time, it should be enough of a win track uh, and a win record to say, hey, man, this is it. Let's make it happen.
You were saying, he lives 5 minutes away. Obviously, him going to the gym every day and finding that light, just to get up and, they say, when you have silk sheets, hard to get up, that type of deal. And us
Yeah,
fans, we see that, like you said, baby mama's probably gonna come out this month, I think he said.
yeah,
And like, as fans, we're like, oh, how focused is he? You know what I mean? Because he found a new love. And in the same time, we see as fans, if you know reggaeton, you see he's a big influence with a lot of those,
yeah, 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 yeah,
reggaetoneros. So is
yeah.
he taking this serious when he
Yeah,
talks to you?
yeah. I tell you what. Yeah, we. I'm not gonna say obviously everything I talk about with him, but he's like my son.
Smash the like button. You already know. Probably that phone must have died. You know what I mean? See, coaches like in the interview that you start pacing around and you're like, damn, I should have stayed where the charger is and kept it charged. You know what I mean? But nah, he'll be back hopefully. Marc, Farragait, man, definitely a great interview. I've watched some of his interviews and I liked them. And I was like, you know what, it's just a matter of time until we get him on. And yes, I'm definitely trying to do my job, for sure. But we're definitely gonna leave that topic alone with Shiraz because it seems like there's something that will be said, but probably will be said in like a documentary piece or something, someone like that. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, you know, we still got that question about is Zoo for boxing. There's talks, there's chatter. Richardson Hitchens and Edgar Berlanga's up next. You see my interview with Connor Ben when they signed him. I said, "Yo, you know who's next, right? Berlanga and Richardson Hitchens, two Keith Conley fighters." I said it, yo. But hey, yo, thank you for the 5 piece. Najee fell to his knees after that victory. That was tough. Great fight. Hey, yo, Dizzy, appreciate the 5 piece. Really appreciate you, man. Double tap the screen if you're on mobile devices. Hit the like button. I promise you it's totally free. Baby Sota. Ooh. Yeah, that's my shawty. She doing the laundry. You know what I mean? With the hot socks. Smash the like button, y'all. Double tap the screen. Yo, listen, y'all getting crazy out there. Yo, oh, the documentary. Yo, you guys are nasty. Oh, you cooking? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a wife out there that cooks for you, salute to her, man. Salute to the women that are taking care of the men nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, salute to y'all. We not easy. We not easy. I know I ain't. I know I'm not easy. Salute to Naji Lopez. Great victory. 8th round stoppage. Talk to me nice, baby. Against Manuel Gallegos. Gallegos. Hopefully, I didn't butcher his name. Um, tonight's fights, we can't miss it. Um, also, he says once again, champ. My apologies once again. My phone died and it's having a hard time coming back up. We can definitely finish this up some other time. Had a great time on the show. Thank you for having me. Absolutely. You already know. No problem, coach. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. My last question. I'm gonna text it to him. Fuck this. Fuck it. No problem. Thank you. But Zoo for boxing is Edgar fighting with Zuffa boxing now. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Nah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you, man. You're an awesome host. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Let's go. Definitely a fan of his work, man. Yo, why the homie gotta disrespect Trash Langa and call him Berlenga? That's nasty word, good fella. Oh, thank you. Oh shit. It's true. Damn. So Edgar Berlanga is signed to Zuffa Boxing. It's true. It's true. Fire. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Well, that's breaking news for y'all if y'all didn't know. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody on the live. Edgar Berlanga will be fighting on Zuffa Boxing in his next fight. So when we hear that him fighting Shiraz rematch, now I understand why they believe that. Let's get the call-ins ready to go. Salute to everybody on the live, man. Salute to everybody on the live. Really appreciate you guys for tapping in, as always. Hitchinson's T on my next two. Bro, they all are. Come on, bang, bang. Come on, bro. I said it. I said it. I said it when they made the announcement, bro, for Zuffa Boxing with the $15 million for Conor Ben. I called it. I got the video to back it up for you chumps out there. Subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to Mill City Boxing. And I got the call-ins ready to go too. So if you guys want to call in, this is your time. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Press. Oh man, I got my man Kevin Walsh. What's going on? I think what you are you in uh are you in Ireland yet, brother? Are you in Ireland yet, man? Salute to Kevin Walsh in the building. What's going on, Kevo?
Going on? What's the word, Mill City? How we doing, boss?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to say right now. The hometown homie, WBC silver champion at 126 pounds from Brockton, Massachusetts, Kevin Walsh is joining us right now, and he's going to be going to Ireland, man.
Yes.
That's right, and he's going to be fighting Conlon, and this is going to be a step up, but in the same time, it's your moment, right? It just seems like it's your moment. I see you poised. I see you watching their interviews. I see you liking their interviews. I see that you just all about Michael Conlon. Let me tell you something, Kev. How you feel? When are you out there? Are you in Massachusetts? Or are you in
Shit,
Ireland right now?
I'm in the limo right now on my way over to the fucking airport, actually, yeah.
Okay, so we got the airport interview inside the limo. Let's go. Okay. So how we doing this, man? I mean, he's talking about retirement, but then he's also talking about pitching like like a clinic in the same time. So I'm
Right,
confused, brother. Talk to me
right.
nice.
Right, man. Yeah, nah, I feel like he's already got one foot out the door, man. He's talking about retirement. He's talking about if he loses, he's out, he's done. And I know what I'm gonna do when I get in there. I don't think it's gonna go to the decision. I got that power that he's not expecting, and he's also underestimating my boxing skills. Yeah, I'm a great boxer. My movement's incredible. Yeah, man, I'm fast. I strike like thunder. So, I'm just staying humble, and I'm looking forward to the challenge for sure. I know that um, Michael Collins a beast, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I stay humble. I'm ready for war, like you said, man. I study this dude. I look at this dude's interviews. I watch his fights every single day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I pretty much got a picture of him on my wall in my living room. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I never felt so ready. And I'm just so excited, man. And going out to Ireland. Ireland is like a dream come true for me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I just gotta stay humble and just take care of business, baby. That's it, man. But it's an unbelievable feeling for sure.
Shoot, man, you already know March 20th, Friday night is going down on the zone, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Walsh against Michael Conlon. So, I mean, he got a lot of fights, right? He's, is there like a layoff? Does he have a layoff as well? When's the last time he fought?
I think he fought like his recent fight. He did have a layoff before his recent fight. He was off for like a year or something, but I think he fought like 6 months ago. Um, but yeah, prior to that, I'm pretty sure that he was out for a year or so. So yeah, man, and he's been knocked out a couple times already. And I got that power, man. I got that power, so I'm gonna bring it to him for sure. And I know going out to Ireland, I can't expect to leave it up to the judges and expect to win. So I'm planning on knocking his ass out, humbly.
Yo, it's so crazy, right? Because when coming from New England and seeing an
Thank you.
undefeated fighter like yourself go out to a different country to be the B side, right? I'm like, let's go! Like that's how I'm feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how people feeling in this region, right? But on the zone next Friday, I got the homie that's gonna be having the big stage, all the cameras on you. I mean, this gotta be a quite of a moment, right?
Yeah, it's a big moment, man. It's a big moment, but I just feel like it was meant to be. Especially being out in Ireland. My father was Irish. God rest his soul. And I just feel like he kind of put this together for me in a way, man. From the heavens. So I just feel like everything's meant to be. All the dots are connecting. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've been grinding 2 days, two times a day. But obviously, I know not to overwork. But yeah, man, I'm staying confident. But I'm staying humble. I don't want to be overconfident. I know what I'm in for. I know that Michael Collins on another. He's a beast, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast. I don't want to say he's on another level, but he keeps saying that he's on another level, and there's levels to the shit. But we all know what happens when people tell me that they on another level than me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I plan on shocking the world for sure.
When you look at him, right? Besides the seasoning, right? Besides all the experience and stuff like that, you look at him. I mean,
Yeah,
you had Mighty Mouse. What was his name? Mighty from
yeah. Jermaine Williams.
Jermaine
Yup.
Williams. You fought guys like that.
Yeah,
The other homie that you just knocked out there in what was it, Providence? What was his name that
yeah.
we did
Ricky
it?
De Los Santos.
Ricky De Los Santos.
It's
So you
right up
fight.
there, about a mile on the right.
So yeah, like when you look at guys like that, when you look at Michael Conlon, you tell me what does he bring to the table that you haven't seen?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
When you look at some of the guys that you've already faced, right? What do you think that he brings that you haven't seen?
Um, that I haven't seen. I mean, He's got the European style or the UK style, a different type of style. He likes to put his front lead hand in front of your face and try to distract you a lot. That's something that I really haven't seen yet in the ring. I mean, of course, I've seen it. I've seen sparring. I've seen we all know y'all know different than sparring. So I mean, pretty much that's the only thing that that he's gonna bring to the table that is different from me. It's gonna be yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready for whatever, man. I'm ready for war. I know that Michael Collins a beast. He's probably gonna be the top contenders that I've faced so far. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the challenge, like always. And I feel like, the tougher the opponent, the more I rise to the occasion. The harder I train, fight.
Okay. Okay. I'm liking his energy.
You know,
He's driving, y'all.
so,
Going through a little technical difficulties,
okay.
but we'll be back. No, you know how it is. You're driving on the highway. You still there?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, yep. You hear me?
Yes. Yeah, people on my live stream are saying that is that Kevin Walsh? They know who you are. My live stream. Now Mills nasty work.
Can you hear me, Mills? Mills, can you hear me?
Yes, we got
Can you hear me?
first caller coming in. What's going on, streets? Talk to me. We got Kevin Walsh. He's gonna be fighting on the zone next Friday. Fighting Michael Conlon. He's going to Ireland. You know what I mean? St. Patty's week.
I mean, he can. I don't know where he's going to, but he probably can go to Dan Larry and be in the. Yeah, let me try to fix one more and get ready.
You good?
And get into.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
What were you? Okay, continue.
That's the only piece of advice that I can give him. I ain't really seen him fight yet. I see Michael Colon fight, and Michael Colon he a dog, so it's gonna be a great fight if Michael Walsh is on his A game.
Okay, what you think about Edgar Berlanga signed to Zufa?
Well, that's the only thing he can do now. Because right now, I don't know where his career is going. You know what I'm saying? Like he be moaning about anytime something happens to him in his career, he got to talk about it. He had a draw against Calero. He got to rely on it. He got beat by Shiraz. Oh, the raps. He's not in a position whereby he can say, okay, all right, I'm gonna let this shit go away. I'm gonna go ahead and win a world title and be the best Edgar. He keeps dwelling on things.
Shaky.
Okay.
The service is a little shaky.
Okay.
But we'll get through it. We'll push through it, like they say. Smash the like button, double tap the screen.
So I don't really have much to talk about Edgar Berlanga. He really has to show the world who he really is. All that 18 first round knockouts now they all look stupid to everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
That shit is nasty work.
Yeah, because he ain't really beat nobody.
Okay.
When you graduate from all those knockouts like Mike Tyson, you got to go beat a Trevor Berbick and get a world title.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, my man Kevo is ready, bro. He is getting ready, man. He's on his way to the airport to go to Ireland to put on a show for all of us boxing fans on the zone. This is great. This is dope. Love to see people around my area prosper. It's dope. Listen, Kevo, what we'll do, Kevo, we'll run the interview when you in the hotel.
Yeah, for sure.
Be better.
I'll be out in Ireland and probably I'll be in Ireland tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'll talk tomorrow morning. Thank you, bro.
You already know. Listen, and if you need some PR help or whatever, I got you. I got everybody on Smash.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate you, my guy, for real.
You got it. Take it easy.
Talk to you later.
You
Peace.
already know Kevin Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, be fighting tomorrow on the zone, fighting Michael Conlon. We going to Irish. We're going. I said we're going to Irish. We're going to Ireland, and we whooping some ass. Salute, salute. What's going on, my guy? Oh, you sound mad low. What you on your speaker?
Yeah, hold on.
Streets was goody.
I'm great.
I can't hear you. Oh my God, both of you guys sound like trash right now.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Streets, why you sound like you like 20 feet away from your phone?
I had to be my headphones. I'm in the gym right now, man. I'm far away from my phone.
You're not?
Nah, not at all.
It's getting better now. Okay, okay.
I think the guys in the gym, that's what caused the problem.
Man, salute.
What's the word? What's the word?
Shit, I've been outside. I've been working, man. I've been working. We had Edgar Berlanga's coach just on. I actually talked to Bill Haney for like an hour on private mode today.
Okay.
That was very interesting. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to put something together. Sean Haney's gonna be getting his rematch on the Mike Tyson in the Invitational
What, to
today
the
around
Garcia
6 o'clock.
family member?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
How they put that together on the amateur side? That's crazy.
This is what we do. This is what
Okay.
we do.
No, that's what. Now you know what, Mel? I ain't gonna lie. I'm interested to see what Bill gonna say. Because I fuck with Bill Haney, man. Bill's a stand-up cat, man. But he kind of stuck between the rock and the hard place, man. I was there in New York. When he was talking to Keyshawn, trying to keep his promise and stuff like that. But I don't know. It don't seem like Bill keeping his word. Now they talking about Rolly, then they start talking about Ryan rematch. I mean, what happened to the Keyshawn situation? You know what I mean? I would just like to hear Bill talk about that. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting to me. He's a stand-up cat, but it seems like they all over the place with that one. Keyshawn got to do more. Keyshawn can't just get a fight like that. Nah, man, we can't say that now, bro. It's too late to say all that, man. You already done talked to this man. Told him he next. And now how you gonna tell me we gotta do more now? Come on, what we doing? He can do more. He can none. Okay. So he trying to tell me he just wake up, go fight Debbie Haney just like that. Debbie Haney just give you the paycheck just like that.
Our both is getting cooked.
I tell you what. Keyshawn is definitely up the level. The way he dispensed with Jermaine. Who you fought? Jermaine, look, listen, think what you want to think about this guy. He's no easy feat for anybody. He gave Timo problems. He gave Shakur problems. No. You see what Shakur did with Teofimo Lopez, right? He's run around the ring, fought 1 round against Teofimo Lopez. Nah, no, he didn't, bro. Hell no, he. I was there at that one too. He ain't running around the ring on that dude. And people thought Tio lost it. Bro. Before you can get a mega fight in boxing, you got to do something. Sure. I'm not. I'm not disputing that. But like I say, I think Keyshawn's up the level. Why you never fought De Los Santos? If you fought De Los Santos and did the same shit to him, then we can say, all right, go ahead and fight. See, but you know what's crazy? Now people are giving props to De Los Santos. Everybody was saying De Los Santos was trash at first. He don't know how to cut off the ring. Now after Shakur said that's the best person he's been in the ring with, now everybody giving De Los Santos props. That shit is crazy. De Los Santos been like that. He been like that. I've been giving De Los Santos props a long time ago. Yeah, when he knocked out El Rayo, when you know what I'm saying, back in the day, he been stepping on shit. De Los Santos is like that. Bro, he's showing nice, but he didn't fought nobody. He's showing nice, he didn't fought nobody. Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at Devin and Rolly because I do want to see that fight, but I definitely want to see Keyshawn there.
Okay, Keyshawn move up and fight. Damn. No, man. Damn, Jermaine Ortiz is a nobody? God damn.
That's crazy. Nah, they're saying anything, bro. They're saying anything. If you saying Jermaine Ortiz is nobody, man, you saying anything.
Just because your name is Jermaine Ortiz, who you fought? Who Jermaine Ortiz?
He fought. Okay, there you go. There you go. Look at Jermaine Ortiz. Teofimo Lopez. Shakur Stevenson.
Nah, he didn't fight Shakur.
I said Shakur. I mean,
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn. I keep saying Shakur. I mean Keyshawn.
Joseph Adorno. He beat Jamel Herring.
You know what I'm saying?
He got bitch down. He got to win what? In Shakur's top 3 wins, Jamel Herring's one of them, right?
Shakur?
Yeah.
I mean, Shakur top 3 wins. You got to go T.O. He might even be number 2.
So
you put Valdez
right. So Jermaine Ortiz beat him too. So if you're gonna give Shakur some credit for that, let's give some Jermaine Ortiz some credit for that. And then you gotta put some respect on Keyshawn's name.
Mm-hmm. You can't just say what Keyshawn does.
David, a former unified champion. Devin is on another level. I don't like Devin, but I gotta give him props.
Yeah, no, Devin is like that. Devin is like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing, though, bro. Why do all the hoopla with Keyshawn?
At the same time, I gotta call a spade a spade. You gotta do more to get that fight.
Nah. See, you not calling a spade then. Because Bill already been. That's why he went up to this man and said, "Keep your promise. After this fight, it's you next." Okay. So all that. Now you got to do more. No. You ain't calling a spade a spade. No.
Listen.
You call me out in New York.
Riddick Bowe and Les Lewis agreed to fight, but after that, Riddick Bowe said, "Fuck you. I put a belt to the trash can."
Yeah. I mean.
So
that was.
So that don't mean shit.
So you saying so your word don't mean shit?
Damn. For real?
That's how it goes. No. I just asked you a question. So does your word not mean shit? Is that what you say?
Not me. In boxing, I seen it. Not me.
Okay.
Not me. In boxing. People shake hands. Oh, we're gonna have a fight. That's manufacture Floyd Mayweather. We have to wait for 16 years to see that shit. So just because they agree today, don't mean they ain't gonna fight in the future. They'll probably fight in the future, but they're in next.
I mean, that's just what they were saying, you know. If you gonna say Keyshawn's next, I mean, why when the champion to be next, you start talking about what he's done? It doesn't make sense. You don't think that's crazy? Like, nigga, I already said, it's you next. We lining you up. And then now I'm saying you haven't done enough.
Did Bill say he was next or he was on the list?
No, Bill said he's next. Go look at them. Look at them tapes. Ask Bill himself what he said.
What do you want it?
I'm just saying, man. Just ask Bill himself what he said, man.
Listen. If Bill comes on like he said he's gonna come on, right?
You gonna get him,
Because Bill's a man of his word. Bill's a man of his word. He'll come on here. He'll answer all the questions that everybody want to hear. You know what I mean? But damn. So we had Edgar Berlanga's in trainer, and he's going to Zuffa, right? And
Berlenga's going to Zuffa.
Yeah, so you gotta automatically think that Richardson, Teal, they all in Zuffa now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm very curious to see what the landscape's gonna be looking like next year, man, or the end of this year.
Yeah. And
it's getting crazy.
Because it's a lot of, even the convention it's a one fight deal, and they ain't really doing no long. They ain't signing no long.
I don't know, man. Like they're promoting this one fight deal, but I don't know how Regis randomly in the interview said that It's not.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah.
Now, how does Regis know what the next man's pocket look like? I don't know. You know, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he needs to. You probably need to know all the finances if there's some type. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's not enough information, but that's quite interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, but I'm gonna be back a little bit later, hopefully, because obviously his son's gonna be fighting on the Mike Tyson invitational today. So they're fighting at around 6. So hopefully he gets back to me before then. And if not, you already, man. We back a little bit later. I'm gonna be dropping some interviews, I mean some videos. We got some good fights. So I'm gonna get you guys' your thoughts. Let me get your predictions, and then we out. Kenneth Sims versus Arnold Barboza.
That's a hell of a fight. I like that fight, man. I'm gonna go. I like Barboza.
You like Barboza. Barboza, how does he take the win? Does it go the distance?
He been asking good quality fighters. Quality fighters, and I think that's gonna help him get a dub. I think he's gonna edge him by getting decision.
Your reception's nasty work right now.
If Kenneth Sims, if he stay on this shit and he box Barboza, I think he went fairly easy, man.
So that is that where it is at? Is that where we're at with it?
Yeah, yeah. Kenneth Sims,
Kenneth
if he on
Sims
his
by
game,
decision?
yeah, I go Kenneth Sims decision. I
Kenneth
give him a
Sims decision.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I give him a split. I'm with Barboza.
I'm with you on that one, all right? I'm with you on that one. I think Kenneth Sims wins as well. I think that Kenneth Sims knows that he has to do everything possible to get this win. This is like do or die for him. And the
Yeah,
reason why is it's hard to get back into that. Really, it's gonna be hard to get back into that top 10 discussion. This fight's also at welterweight. You know, hopefully he could get the job done. I think he could. Um, but once again, guys, appreciate you guys for tapping in. Oh, wait a minute. Jojo Diaz and Alex Rocha.
yeah.
Who wins?
I'm gonna go JoJo Diaz.
Okay, we got one Jojo Diaz.
JoJo, yeah. That's slow. And then, Alex Rocha, he's been at 47 for a long time.
Okay. Streets got Alex Rocha. Okay. Well, there it is, guys. Once again, guys, I'll be back a little bit later. Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always.
You ain't watching the Kakashi and Dickens Bills?
The what?
Anthony Kakashi and Jazzy Dickens?
No.
That's
No.
a title fight, man. Shit, that's it.
Nah.
That's 130. They fight at 130. The title fight.
Nah.
Dublin. Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not.
That's all good shit. I'll tap back in with you later on.
You already, brother. Already. Smash that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Salute to everybody on the live as well. Wait. Lester Martinez fights today. I don't believe so. No. Lester Martinez? Nah, he don't fight today. I don't believe. Oh shit. He does fight today. Oh, he do fight today. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And once again, guys, appreciate you guys for tapping in. All right. See you guys a little bit later on tonight.